Hello everybody, welcome to After 9. We're going to do the same thing we did last night with the live stream, except for we're going to use the comments. So what we're going to do is leave your comment below with your Bitcoin address, and I will send one random person, we're going to give it about 12 hours, 100 Bitcoin, so that way you can play around with it. If you don't have any cryptocurrency yet, I hope that somebody that wins doesn't, and now they can transfer in and out and feel comfortable playing around with money that After 9 gave you. So, go ahead and do that. Like the video or subscribe if you want to see more crypto or get more free coins. What we're going to talk about today is Bitconnect. Bitconnect is something people have been asking me about, so I'm going to go ahead and go over it. I've done a lot of research on it, and it seems pretty solid. They even have their own coin, so it's backed up a little bit, not by any government standards, but who the heck wants to deal with the government anyway, right? So what they're doing is the minimum initially you can put in is going to be $100. Okay, so what they do is they take this $100 or up to $100,000 and they lock it up for a set period of time. The more you let them hold, the less time they need to hold it. 300 days, whatever, basically a year, quite a long time. If you can afford it, I'd probably go for the 5,000 to 10,000. That's a little bit more safe depending on the company's goals and how risky they want to be. Because they're saying up to 40% a month, and that there's money coming from somewhere there, buddy. So it's a pretty high interest rate, but people are making money. Nobody's lost money, and so far so good. And it reminds me a lot of what's called Prosper.com. I've been doing that since 2006, so 11 years. Everybody thought it was a little hoaxy. It was in Money Magazine, and it got shot down by a lot of people. But hey, here we are, 11 years later, still doing it. So it's probably a good thing. We're going to roll with that. That looks like the first ones in there doing it, or the biggest at least, and they're using their community to grow it. So I'll put a link below. If you want to start using Bitconnect, want to create an account, go ahead and link through mine down below. I think we both get something. I haven't looked into it yet, but I'll find the link and put it down there for you. So how they make the money? They're lending it and using a trading bot, to basically trade and gain interest. The only problem with that is there have been days where we got 0.4. So this is basically like the last month. So some real high days and some real low day or days with zero, right? So you had a whole day of nothing where your money was locked up, which whatever, you made 2% some other days. So if we look at a 3-month guy, pretty similar. Some days the bot's not so lucky. Some days, you don't get interest at all. Only 3 days in the last 3 months you didn't get anything. But other days you're getting up to 2%, so not so bad. These are the dailies for the last week. Still pretty good, better than any bank you can put your money in. What we need to look at is why they keep highlighting certain things. So what they're highlighting a lot is principal back. So after 300 days you get that back. But do we? Because in their terms and conditions, members should not note there is no guarantee of daily profit for lending, which we saw. There's 3 days in the last 3 months where they didn't get any profit for lending. Not really a big deal. Kind of, but not really. Bitconnect reserves the right to institute and implement new rules of paying interest and capital should Bitconnect lending fail in any way. The capital part worries me. The interest, that happens, things go wrong, but I always need the capital back. Okay, this is like worst case scenario. Bitconnect reserves the right to change the lending algorithm and interest payment and capital back system. That concerns me. Capital back system. They've highlighted it, put it in bold, and capitalized all through their website, and now we're seeing it in the Bitconnect terms of use. All right, so that's a little concerning, but it's a backup plan. They don't want to be on the hook for anything. They're kind of letting themselves out. Got it. There's no guarantee of investors' capital if the lending system fails due to any of the reasons mentioned above, including government involvement, which was up there too. So, these are all normal things you're going to read in any investment site, but something that I want you guys to know of, because the other people out there doing videos don't tell you about this. They're like, oh yeah, you're making a bunch of money. What happens if this place fails? What happens if, they change how they're doing things? This is what happens. You might not get your capital back. You might not get any interest for lending, but you might get your capital back. They might just not do anything at all. So when you're doing lending cryptocurrency in itself is untraceable for the most part. And now you're giving it to another company to lend and basically profit on your behalf and giving you a set interest rate. But think about this. If you go to, say, Coinbase, for example, and just simply look at what's going on with Bitcoin. So if you looked at Bitcoin today, say, hey, I lent you $10,000, which is a Bitcoin and a half or so at this point. It's about $8,000. So Bitcoin just today is up 6%, and they're giving you 1%. You'd have been better off putting your 10 grand into Bitcoin. There's some pretty steep downsides certain days, but for the most part, it's always been up. So the people that have used this website have realistically, if you look at it from a perspective of, even say a month, hey, you can get up to 40%. Nobody got 40%. You got maybe around 35%. Well, if they just simply bought Bitcoin with your money, they'd be up 50% or 49.29%. So, they're making a substantial amount of money by your risk and very little, risk on their part, because they can just say, hey, we lost money, big deal, you didn't make any interest today. So pretty kind of good deal on their part. If you look at it for the year, they're up huge. It was like the best time to start this. Bitcoin's up almost 1,000% this year. So even if they paid you 1% every single day, you'd only be up 365%. They're up 1,000%. So this website has tons of money. So those Ferraris and Lamborghinis and all that you see them giving away, they can do that because we're lending money and they're giving it back to us at a pretty high rate. But realistically, if they just simply bought Bitcoin over the last year, they're killing it. So I think it's a pretty safe place to be, because that's probably what they did, honestly. They're just playing the Bitcoin game. So I think it's a good idea. If you want to go ahead and start, I'm going to start today. I'm going to go ahead and put some money in later on after I get to work, because why not? And then I'll show you guys. I'll come back in about a week or so, and I'll revisit it and see how the interest payments are coming out. But yeah, definitely leave your Bitcoin or Bitcoin address below, and we'll do a Bitcoin raffle around 10:30, 11. Hopefully it's a little earlier, but depending on that area. So we'll give it about 12 hours, and then we'll give some Bitcoin away. All right, guys. Hey, thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. Subscribe so I know you want to watch some more videos. So I'll keep doing them as long as you guys are watching them. Thank you very much.